going on, dudes and dudettes? So yeah, when it comes to Justin Herbert and his new injury on his right foot, looks like it's plantar fascia is what they call it. So I guess he has to have to be in a walking boot for the next couple of weeks. And they say it's only going to be about 2 weeks. A lot of people are already freaking out because it's the Chargers and injuries, especially to main stars and players. But I guess they're just being abundantly precautious, as they call it, and not trying to risk anything. But because it is something to deal with plantar fascia, I guess it's going to still bother him. Like, he could still play for the first half of the season, but it's going to eventually bother him throughout the season, depending on how far they go. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it's not that important since they haven't really made a trade or try to bring in any veteran backup quarterback, because I don't think they're going to really be okay with going into the season with Easton Stick as their main starter if that was the case. So, yeah, I guess as of right now, we should be thinking happy thoughts and okay thoughts, but as a Chargers fan now for almost close to 2 decades, it's been kind of like the same old story. Here we go again. But hopefully it is nothing, but if they do get a veteran quarterback, hopefully they do it sooner than later. And then I was kind of always forgetting that they were going to unveil 2 more Kobe statues around the Staples Center, or now the Crypto Arena down there in Los Angeles. And they recently unveiled one that was going to be with him and his daughter Gigi. And I guess they chose a moment when it was like a Lakers versus Dallas basketball game where they're on the sidelines and he's basically like kissing her on the forehead. I remember that game too, because that was against Dallas, and Luka was hearing somebody in the front row like curse at him in his own language. He's like, who the hell is saying that crap? And then finds out that it's Kobe cursing at him in his Slovenian language, which is pretty funny. So they had a nice moment there too. But yeah, that was obviously one of the more showing around pictures at the time when they did pass away, which did suck. But yeah, they were always at games together, whether it was that, WNBA as well. So I thought it was a nice, remembrance for both of them, and a nice way to honor them. So hopefully we'll find out what the next one was. I'm pretty sure it's going to be with some moment with his 24 jersey, because the first one was with his number 8 jersey. So yeah, it's going to be pretty cool to finally see that unveiled at some point. Then when it came to a couple of predictions for future USC targets in that 2025 and 2026 class, looks like in 2026, yeah, I guess Ryder Lyons has not committed to USC, because a lot of people are putting in new predictions for him to choose USC when he does end up making his commitment decision at some point in the near future. So at least that's somewhat positive. I know he's going to be going on a couple-year mission after high school, so he's not going to be on campus right away. So it kind of works out for USC to still try to get another guy in that 2025 or 2026 class. So they already have Julian Lewis in the 2025 that we're hoping that they're still going to get. Maybe they could get another guy in the 2026 class as well. I know there recently have been talks about him going after Lincoln Riley going after the Centennial quarterback, Husan Longstreet, who committed to Texas A&M a couple months ago. So maybe that could be another guy that they go after. It'll be definitely a pretty crazy locker room when it comes to quarterback, because J.D. Mayava will so most likely be there. Even Miller Moss, if he decides to stay around the starter now, he could still stick around for another 2 years, I think. But hopefully they will get that quarterback room situated pretty soon. Then when it comes to that 4-star offensive tackle, Carde Smith, I believe he's from the state of Alabama. And a lot of people have been putting recent predictions in for him to go and choose USC, especially WeAreSC.com, but they recently also updated their statement too, saying that yeah, they put in a prediction for him a week ago to go to USC, but this last weekend he did make a last-second visit to Mississippi State. So I don't know if they put in all their money and NIL stuff to try to lure him to go to there, but it's kind of interesting why they added that in their little post there on X, because maybe they could be a contender, and he's probably going to pick them on Monday. I forget if you're going to watch this on Sunday or Monday, but either way, we'll hopefully talk about him committing to USC, and if not, then I guess money talks. And boom, just like that, Carde Smith has committed to USC this Monday morning, the 4-star offensive lineman from the state of Alabama. So yeah, it's a pretty big time get. Obviously, I know when I was talking in this video earlier that I'm hopefully slicing this part in, that he was maybe going to be thinking about Mississippi State because he did visit them late this last week, and Colorado has been pretty hot on him, but luckily we're able to get this very talented guy, and hopefully maybe going to add another guy, and Aaron Dunn, later this week too, so looking forward to that. Hopefully USC is back on the right track when it comes to their recruiting class in 2025. Let's go. So Lakers player Rui Hachimura, who is playing for Japan, his home team in the Olympics, looks like he left the team early before that third and final game because I guess they weren't going to be going into the next round, and it looks like he had already injured his calf, so I'm pretty sure the Lakers kind of pulled him because I guess the NBA teams that pretty much own the rights to these Olympic players can decide if there is somewhat of a hiccup when it comes to maybe an injury being too much, then they could pull them off and then they won't be playing for their national team anymore. So it looks like it was serious enough that they had to pull them out, but I don't know if that also hinders them making a trade, because I know there was talks about a Jeremy Grant trade, maybe somewhere else, especially a trade involving Rui Hachimura, but we'll have to wait and see on that front. And then Caleb Williams, yes, he did not play in that first Hall of Fame game, which actually got cut short due to the weather, but he did go out there right before the game all padded up in his regular jersey and stuff, so that looked pretty cool. A nice first viewing of that. I'm pretty sure that was for the HBO documentary crew for Hard Knocks to be able to at least see him in that way, but hopefully looking forward to seeing him play in next week's first official preseason game for him, because the Hall of Fame game doesn't really count because nobody really plays, but it was a pretty good game up until that point. A 2025 three-star wide receiver, Keanu Johnson, I think that's how you say his first name, looks like he has committed to Duke football, so that was nice to see over the past couple of days for that team. And then they did also get their first 2026 commitment from a three-star in Aiden Kane. I don't know if he's exactly an offensive line or defensive line, but he looks like he has a big enough frame to be on either of those sides. He was a guy that surprised me too. I saw it on a Duke Update post channel, even though it wasn't on Duke football's main post channel. So I don't know if it is 100% true that he is committed, but if those other sites are running with it, then I'm going to go with it as well. So congrats to them getting at least someone else in that future 2026 class. And House of Victory recently had a couple more signings for the athletes from USC. Obviously, these are all basketball since that's kind of like the main sport coming up after football. So it was Rayshawn Agee, the transfer guy. Also Terrence Williams, I believe he was from Michigan, the transfer. And then Isaiah Elohim, who is that incoming freshman from that 2024 class. So yeah, congrats to those guys, and hopefully they'll get a chance to make some money off of their name. Then when it came to the Big Ten women's basketball tournament and where the sites will be, where they will be playing, looks like the first couple of years in 2025 and in 2026 is going to be played in Indianapolis. 2027 is going to be in Las Vegas, and 2028 will be in Detroit, Michigan. So a little bit different from the men's side. Kind of thought they would just have the same schedule to make it easier, but it probably isn't as easy, especially with those tournaments going on at the same time and having hundreds of athletes all together in the same place, and you don't know if there's enough hotel rooms and accommodations, all that stuff. In Vegas, yeah, it's no problem, but those other places, yeah, it could be a little bit difficult. But yeah, that's pretty cool to see where they'll be playing in the near future. And then there was a lot of posts from like USC and other Big Ten schools welcoming USC and all the new schools officially into the new Big Ten conference. They still call it the Big Ten, even though there's 18 teams now, so I don't know if they're going to change the name, but it looks like even the Big 12, when they had like less than 12 teams, were still called the Big 12. So we'll find out exactly what their future plans are for that name's sake. But either way, it was a nice welcoming, and hopefully be able to get some more victories against some of these new rivals and opponents in the Big Ten Conference. So thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.